Hey guys, it's Ramon from Eclectic Emissary, and we are on our way to our next destination, the famous Greece, man, a super popular tourist destination. A lot of people's bucket list, so super excited to go there. There's going to be tons of great food, tons of amazing history, and we're going to share all our tips for you to have the perfect trip and prepare for an amazing time. So stay tuned because it's going to be awesome. Anyway, let's go. Greece is Europe's southernmost country and is made up of over 6,000 different islands. It is home to over 11 million people, but sees tourism of over 17 million people. So to say that it's a huge tourist destination would be an understatement. Its landscape is made of almost 80% of mountainous regions, but is also known for having the longest coastline in Europe. It is surrounded by the Mediterranean, Ionian, and Aegean seas, which are known for some of the most beautiful beaches on the planet. Greece was also extremely influential in ancient times and regarded as the cradle of Western civilization, with having the birthplace of democracy and the Olympic Games all under its belt. It was also the birthplace to some of the most legendary philosophers of all time, including Aristotle, Plato, and Socrates. So, it's your first time planning a trip to Greece and you want to decide the best time of year to visit? Here's a few things to keep in mind. Obviously, the peak season is going to be summer seasons. This is from June all the way to September, where the temperatures are definitely going to be at its hottest, around 90 degrees. There's definitely going to be more crowds and it's a lot more expensive. We visited in the shoulder season, so this was in May. Temperatures are pretty nice, around 60s to 70s. Still able to go into the beach and swim, but the water is a lot colder. But I think for the less crowds and a slightly cheaper area, it's kind of better. Winters are going to be pretty cold, but if you like sightseeing and walking around ruins, then it's a great time to. Now, a few of the places you might want to consider for your trip to Greece. Athens is the capital of Greece and, of course, its largest city. It is known for its ancient ruins scattered throughout, and, of course, the ancient Acropolis, which is the most famous site in the entire country. It also has some of the best nightlife, sightseeing, history museums, and food that you'll find anywhere in the country. Athens is pretty great because it's cheap, and within 2 to 3 days you can see most of the sites. Fortunately, if you're trying to get to downtown Athens via train, it is super easy and cheap. For about €9, you can take the M3 and it goes directly downtown in about 40 minutes. There are other options which include a bus, or you can call an Uber, which will get you a taxi, but that might be a bit more expensive. All right, so it's like 5:30 in the morning and we're in Athens on our way to our next destination. We're headed to Santorini, man. So we're actually on our honeymoon. It's going to be freaking awesome. Definitely going to be a change of pace from the crazy city life of Athens. So kind of looking forward to that. Anyway, we're going to show you more when we get there. So let's go. Santorini is Greece's most famous island and probably what you think of when you see the whitewashed cliffside buildings and the blue domed churches. It is one of the most geologically diverse islands that you can visit in Greece, and actually made of a volcanic crater that collapsed into the sea long ago. This dramatic landscape offers amazing scenic views and some of the best sunsets you'll ever see in the world. Santorini is also renowned as a luxury vacation destination and a romantic getaway for couples. Santorini is relatively small, but is comprised of multiple volcanic islands. It can be quite expensive, so keep that in mind. All right, let's talk a little bit about the transportation situation on Santorini. Main method is basically a bus, but if your hotel is far from the bus, you're out of luck, because you got to walk like 15-20 minutes to get to it, and then depend on it, so it's pretty annoying. Anyway, so if you don't want to depend on a bus, you got to rent a car, a scooter, ATV, anything like that. It's pretty cheap, not gonna lie, but driving here kind of sucks. The roads are tiny. There's like motorcycles jumping in every 5 seconds. There's so many people always crossing the street everywhere. So yeah, it's pretty annoying to get around, but you know, maybe if you're staying in downtown Ia or in downtown Fira, then you should be okay. But yeah, just make sure you pick a location where you don't need to get around too much. And if you want to get taxis, it's possible, but super expensive, pretty much like $40 for one way. So it's a little bit crazy, yeah. All right, just keep in mind, if you are taking the bus from Ia back to Fira or wherever, that there's a huge line and the buses stop around like 10:20. So you either get here early, take a taxi, or have to wait in this crazy line. I don't know if I'm gonna make it back home. Okay, so we got the ferry boat from Santorini to Mykonos. Honestly, this was a disaster. This whole thing is so unorganized. It's just a swarm of people heading into the boat all at the same time. Actually, the seats look pretty nice, not gonna lie. But it was around $90, so 80 something euros. I don't know if it's worth it because honestly, you could just fly for like $50 or $60 and it would be only 50 minutes to an hour, while this boat from Santorini to Mykonos is like 2 hours. So not terrible, but we wanted to go for the experience, and now we know that boat's probably not the way to go. Another one of Greece's most popular islands is Mykonos. This one is renowned for its insane nightlife and party vibes. Here you'll find some of the most beautiful beaches in the countries, as well as some of the most epic beach clubs and some of the best and most fresh seafood you'll find around. The crowd is a bit younger and it can be a bit more expensive, but it's a tiny island where you can explore most of the stuff in 1 to 2 days. All right, so one thing about tips, if you guys are eating out, not expected, so not mandatory to be leaving a tip, but if you want to, because it was really nice service or something, you can leave like 5%, that would be good, and it's super appreciated from there. Very grateful for that. So it's up to you, what do you want to do? So if you're planning to come to Mykonos, I definitely recommend coming in the summertime because it would be a little bit nicer for the beaches and stuff. Other than that, I mean, we're here in the late spring, so end of May, and it's like pretty good to go to the beach. Just the water is pretty cold and it's a little windier than usual, but temperature's around 70, so it's not so bad. Just could be a little bit hotter, I think, for your enjoyment, but either way, it's still great. Greece's primary language is Greek, obviously, but since their economy is so heavily dependent on tourism, you can definitely get by just knowing English. Everywhere we went, pretty much everyone knew English and spoke to us English the entire time. But knowing just a few words or phrases definitely goes a long way, and the locals will definitely be impressed and appreciate it for sure. I only know a few words like Kalimera and Eferisto and of course Yamas, but hey, the more you learn, the better. The restaurant scene in Greece is immaculate. It seems like all the restaurants have an amazing vibe filled with tons of floral decorations and intricate lights. So it's a very cool scene if you're trying to go out and eat in different vibe settings. Also keep in mind for the money that credit card is accepted almost everywhere, even tiny vendors, but you'll want to have cash if you want to have change for the buses, trains, and some vendors also won't have it, as well as having some cash ready to pay for taxis and stuff like that. And there you have it, some of our top tips for planning a trip to Greece. Hope you guys enjoyed. I really loved Greece. I think it's one of our favorite countries, probably top 10, and one of my favorite in Europe. So you guys definitely have to visit. It has some of the sickest nightlife, has amazing food, crazy atmosphere in all the restaurants, like history, ancient ruins. It really does have it all. So a little bit of something for everything. This is just the beginning of our travel series to Greece. So stay tuned because we got tons more adventures coming up and it's going to be awesome. So hope you guys enjoyed. Like and subscribe. Let me know, have you been to Greece or if you want to visit after this. Anyway, I'll see you later. Peace out.